So, it has now been 2 weeks since Visions of Eternity came out, and I have been having an amazing time playing it. New story, maps, metas, legendaries, and also 9 new elite specializations. In case you're unfamiliar, elite specializations are basically subclasses for the existing 9 classes. An elite spec introduces new utilities, a new elite skill, and most importantly, a new class mechanic. These can really change how a class plays, and there was a lot of hype for these. So now that they're released, are these actually any good? I really wanted to answer this question properly, so for the past 2 weeks I have locked myself into my room and I learned every single new elite spec. And with that, I mean, I really learned every single new elite spec. I took them into open world, took them into lots of raids, strikes and fractals, and I also practiced lots on the golem. My goal was to hit 80% of the damage that the pro people from snowcross.com do, and it was a little bit of a challenge. This really forced me to learn the ins and outs of every new spec, and it also gave me a pretty good idea on how hard these are to play. And it also took a lot of time. Gosh, I played a lot of GW2 this week. Fortunately, I had an amazing time, and I can now make this review of every single elite spec. Let's get started, but first, some quick general thoughts. I really enjoyed this new set of elite specs. While some clicked with me more than others, they all felt significantly improved over their beta versions, and there wasn't a single one that I disliked playing. It felt so nice getting something big for each class. In the past 2 expansions, we didn't get new elite specs, but instead we got new weapons. That meant that if your main class weapon didn't fit into a build you enjoyed, you were kind of out of luck. Don't want to play heal Mesmer? Too bad, Soto's Mesmer rifle probably isn't for you. But in this expansion, each specialization has multiple playstyles, so it is a lot easier to find something you enjoy. This set of elite specs doesn't include new weapons. At first, I thought that I would really miss those. But for most specs, it ended up not feeling like a huge deal. I actually ended up playing with the Janfear Spears a lot, which, considering they're only a year old, still felt pretty fresh. Alright, now let's go over each of the new elite specs. Starting with the Ritualist, the new specialization for Necromancer. Ritualist was actually a class in Guild Wars 1, and it's finally made its way to the sequel. Ritualist can enter Ritualist Shrouds to summon 3 different spirits. These spirits do an initial spawn attack, and after that they keep periodically auto-attacking. You can also press the new 5 skill for another special attack. So if you're smart, you wait a little bit for the spirit's initial attack to be done, and then you use skill 5. This means that, unlike in the beta, it's actually worth staying in your shrouds for a little bit. Normally, the spirits disappear when you leave shrouds, but with a trait they also stick around after. I think that's way cooler, so I used that trait pretty much the entire time. Each spirit has a rupture skill that you can use. In the beta, that would also destroy your spirits, but now it actually doesn't. This means you can spawn your little army of spirits and then use their rupture skills whenever you want. These skills are really strong for DPS, support and utility. I had a lot of fun playing Ritualist on both DPS and healer. I actually think it's one of my new favorites. It flows really well, it's very easy to play, and it's also super powerful. I very much expect the Ritualist to get nerfed. But still, I wouldn't be surprised if Ritualist becomes the most popular specialization in this expansion. It's got everything. It's fun, powerful, easy to play as both DPS or healer, and it has a really awesome theme. If there is any criticism I have for this spec, it is that there are now spirits everywhere. A ton of people are playing Ritualist, so on any open vault pulse, you just see a huge army of green spirits everywhere. I would really like to see an option to hide other people's spirits, because the visual noise can definitely be a loss. Next is Elementalist, my original main, but now with the Evoker specialization. Evokers specialize in one specific element, and it also gets you a cute spirit animal friend. There is the Fire Fox, the Water Otter, the Air Hare, and also the Rock Frog. Some people call that last one the Earth Toad, but I like calling it Rock Frog way more. Whatever attunement you pick gets recharged faster, so you can use it more often. And using skills in that attunement also charges your spirit faster. Let me explain. Each weapon skill you use charges your spirit, and when your spirit is fully charged, you can order it to do a fancy skill. After doing that 3 times, you get an even fancier skill. It's actually a pretty neat concept. There is also a trait which lets you fully specialize into one attunement, so that you're locked into it. Fire Wizard Rejoice. When this was first announced, I thought this might be kinda boring, just spamming the same couple skills over and over, but there's actually a really satisfying rhythm to it. These spirit skills reduce your cooldowns, and it feels really satisfying to time it all correctly, get all your skills on cooldown, and then reset them all at once. It kind of feels like you are clearing 4 lines at once in Tetris. I played a lot of fire-only Evoker, and right now it's just a little bit OP. The optimized rotation is actually a really short, easy to memorize loop, but there is a decent amount of skill required to execute it perfectly. It is very fast, but there are also moments where you need to be careful not to go too fast. I found this single element fire evoker to have much more depth than I expected. It just feels so different from any other elementalist build, and if anything, it reminds me a little bit of playing Berserker. There are also power builds with the bunny, heal builds with the otter, super survivable builds with the frog. I am so excited to try them all, and as an elementalist fan, I am very happy with this spec. It's definitely not just the cute animals. And now it is time for the long-awaited musical Mesmer spec, the Troubadour. Troubadours give up their clones and instead gain notes. Instead of shatter skills, there are now instrument skills that you can play for different effects. After you finish your instrument skill, your notes get consumed, and a magical version of the instrument keeps playing in the background. The more notes were used up, the longer the magical instrument keeps playing. I really wish I could do this IRL. This may sound kinda complicated if you haven't tried it, but it's actually fairly straightforward. It's like you've got this mini-game, trying to get notes, playing instruments at the right time, and trying to get this little orchestra going in the background. It's really cool hearing more and more instruments joining the song, and when you get all instruments going, it feels awesome. You can then also use this crescendo skill, which gets stronger depending on how many instruments are playing. And then every time you use it, you have to say, crescendo! Crescendo! Okay, that part's optional. If you ever get tired of this instrument loop, you can actually mute it by turning down player instrument volume. But unfortunately, even if you mute your instruments this way, the background music of GW2 still gets mostly muted. I really hope they fix this. Some of my friends who have played a lot of Troubadour told me they have barely heard the new expansion soundtrack. And that's a huge shame because it's really good. In the beta, I found that the instrument minigame could be kind of frustrating if you didn't run a super optimized build. I'm happy to report that this is much better now. There is way more note generation and it feels a lot easier to keep up your instruments. Troubadour is an interesting twist on Mesmer and I love the theme. But honestly, I was also surprised at how little the instrument minigame actually changed the feeling of playing Mesmer. Maybe it's just that I've played Mesmer a lot, but to me, Power Troubadour felt very similar to Power Virtuoso, and Heal Troubadour felt very similar to Heal Chrono. There is nothing wrong with Troubadour. It's fun, well designed, and it's got a really strong theme. But it maybe didn't blow my mind quite as much as some of the other new specs. I don't know, maybe I just gotta play it some more. Next, let's talk about a spec that really did blow my mind. The Gilshot for Ranger. Gilshot finally gives Ranger a spec that is truly themed around archery. Yeah, I know, it's kinda weird that it took this long. Gilshot gets access to the new Cyclone Bow, which is a special weapon they can pop into whenever they want. Skills in the Cyclone Bow cost arrows, which you generate over time, get from disable skills with a trait, and get from Gilshot utilities. Using Cyclone Bow skills then gives you Wind Force, and once you have 5 Wind Force, you can unleash Hawkeye, potentially